I'm kind of obsessed with dogs, so I feel like it's kind of my love letter to dogs. I don't know if people would see it that way because I'm killing every dog on the planet.
Well, you didn't do it.
I know. I didn't.
You're just saying in your world.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's got a happy ending.
It's supposed to be funny. That's like the best case scenario possible. I think that's what we were going for.
I think the three of us kind of lent our hands to coming up with the idea, but Taylor and I kind of ran with it and wrote this whole thing about a world without dogs. I mean, I'm kind of obsessed with dogs, so I feel like it's kind of my love letter to dogs. I don't know if people would see it that way because I'm killing every dog on the planet.
Well, you didn't do it.
I know. I didn't.
You're just saying in your world.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's got a happy ending.
It's supposed to be funny, though.
Well, parts are supposed to be funny and parts are supposed to be sad. I think it was written to touch on many different emotions. I'm pretty happy with the job that the people did with it. I really wanted to be there while they were shooting, but we were on tour, so these guys, Camp Grizzly, took it on and they did a really good job. We're super stoked. Yeah, it was kind of a loose nickname for the house that we wrote most of the album at in Orange, and then also like we lived in a house all together in LA and kind of wrote the record in between those two houses.
No.
Kind of had its time and place in our lives.
I look back on it very fondly.
Yeah.
But everyone lives, other places. We got to a point where we realized that we spend all of our time together on tour, and there's not really a need to live together while we're not working on like making music or something.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say it feels like that to me actually more and more the farther away I get from it, where I hadn't listened to that album for years and years and years, and then right when we finished Hummingbird, I had this little like experiment where we'd finished Hummingbird and I waited a while and then I listened to both albums together, and it really struck me how much that album felt so much like that kind of time and place in our lives, and it felt very much like the just kind of like feeling and energy of all living together and us like kind of just going for it and trying to be in this band, and the music like really felt that way to me, and I think with that knowledge, I think it's Hummingbird is maybe the same thing where it's kind of over like the last 2 or 3 years comes very much out of that time period. Like they're very personal records, or at least for me it's obvious to see where they come from.
I think given how we treat what we write songs about, like the content of what we write songs about, we kind of write about what is going on with us at the time, and so just that being what it's about, they end up really representing those periods of time in a big way.
It's a photo of us on top of our practice space where we rehearse, and it's kind of just it was an accident. It was an accidental photo that I took of Kelsey trying to climb up on top. He was having a lot of trouble.
It's hard. You had to be there. You would have seen how hard it was.
Yeah, and then Matt, it's kind of a photo we kept coming back to. It seemed to kind of like represent so many different aspects of the album, and Matt kind of took it and messed around with it, and kind of gradually became the album cover.
Well, that in that song represents something really personal to me, and that story and everything that happened with my mom, and so I think it resonated with us as the title of an album that was really personal to all of us. I mean, out of the 2 records that we have, it definitely feels like a much more like we're revealing a lot more, and yeah, it just seemed to fit. Like a record that we go to during.
Just like a record that when it plays, it like transports you to like a specific time in your life.
I have so many records.
Yeah, I mean, music kind of just has that ability. It's like kind of hard to separate. Like, you know, I listen to Van Morrison comes on, I kind of like am immediately transported back a few years because I was listening to that a lot in high school, and it just like all these, you know, kind of emotions and experiences kind of come flooding back. But so many different albums do that for me, at least. Zombies being another one.
Whenever I hear a song off of Tupac's greatest hits, I go back to when I was sick in 8th grade and I couldn't go to school for like a month, and I was just playing Super Mario Brothers, and my brother was a huge rap fan, so he would just have it on all the time, and I don't know why I listened to it on my own, but I did. So that's just really weird, this power of music that you go back to. I get them, like it gets like memories of girls a lot. Like I think there was one girl that I was really into, and I didn't get to like tell her how I felt because she got a boyfriend.
Unrequited love.
Yeah. And Feist's first album always brings me back to that because she burned it for me, and I listened to it, and I never heard her before.
Who was it?
Her name was.
Just tell me your first name.
Yeah, no one's watching.
I actually only know her first name, but it was really quick.
Do I
I
know
don't
her?
know
Or
if
no?
I should say.
Well, whatever.
Her
Do I
name was-
know her or not?
Her name was Audi.
Oh,
That's a specific name.
I was hoping that.
What do you think it was?
I thought it was gonna be like Lindsay.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I had a pretty big crush, but she it didn't work out, and I'm glad because I'm married now and I'm very happy.
One for me that's really strong is Emily Torini. I had no idea she was playing this festival.
Yeah, we know her, right? We've heard her music before.
When I was a freshman in high school, like Katie was super into her and showed me her stuff. So this is like my first love when I was, you know, a kid. I was 13 years old, and that music is so strong to that point for me. And it was kind of a dark relationship actually. So
As dark as 8th grade and 9th grade gets.
it can get pretty dark, man.
Now
so
say
that's-
something next in case she definitely is watching.
What?
We definitely know her a lot better than girl.
I mean, it's cool. Everything's cool, you know. But I don't mean dark like it was shitty. It's just, you know, tough teenage love times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Difficult.
difficult times.
Yeah. Dark would mean like shitty and all. So maybe go with something, some other way to describe it.
I think I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Those answers veered wildly off course.
Okay.
I'm
Sorry.
Well, I think that the impact was definitely in the recording process mostly. We had written and like worked together for like 8 months in our own studio before we started working with Aaron, but we definitely knew we still needed help recording wise, and Aaron just brings so much to the table with that. He's kind of been the producer of the Nationals records for 10 years now, and he's really incredible. So I mean, I feel like we learned so much from him in that setting. He was able to keep this very kind of free and open, spontaneous air when we were recording the record. And so if we thought, oh, maybe this part needs something, we don't know what, and I think we kind of tend to overanalyze or put things under like a magnifying glass, and he would just say, here, just jump in the studio and let's just try some ideas. and that kind of technique really opened us up to creating, I think, some really awesome, like, almost improvised moments on the
Yeah.
record that really, like, gear it and give it a different emotional depth. So that